for coming to our second class in our 4-week prenatal series. Today, we're going to be doing some creative movements, kind of tapping into more fluidity with transitions, some circular movements, and really just embracing that water-like feel that comes along with pregnancy. We'll begin in a seated position. So find a comfortable cross leg, prop up if you need to open the hips and provide more length to your spine. And when you get situated, lower your chin down towards your chest. Create half circles, rolling your ear over your shoulder, tracing your chin along the chest, and moving to the other side. Linger for a bit on the right side next time you're there. And head back to the left. Lingering here for a moment as well. Let's wash it out, passing side to side again. Come back to the center line. Float your head up into a neutral position, softening your gaze or closing down your eyes. Place your hands on your abdomen, feeling into your baby. And breathing down into this space. And just bringing a focus to lengthening out your inhale and exhale. Tapping into that parasympathetic nervous system. Inviting in rest. And staying with the flow of your breath going in and out. Really captivated by your inhales and exhales. Listening for the soothing sound of your breath. Breathing into any fidgeting that may be taking place until it subsides. following the steady pace of your inhale and exhale. Inviting an intention to our practice to listen to what our changing body needs, to listen to the soothing sound of your breath. And when we listen, we're moving more into a receptive place. Blink your eyes open if they closed. Just taking in your surroundings again. And coming forward onto your hands and knees. Take the knees as wide as they need so that there's space for your growing baby. Introducing some cat-cows. Moving into the trunk of your body. And possibly shifting the weight around front and back. Come back to a neutral position. Untuck your toes, widening the knees out a little more, and send your hips towards your heels. Crawl your arms forward, just kind of nestling in here. Drop back into your breath. And we're going to move into a little bit of a flow. Hips lift. Left arm reaches back as you come forward, and then arm goes overhead as you sink your hips back to your heels. As you lift your hips, right arm reaches back, circles overhead, hips connect back in that child's pose, and then you're just going to move side to side. You can connect the breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, connecting your hips down. Let's take 2 more each side. When you have that right hand reconnecting in the hips, settling down, pause, allow your body to recalibrate. Lift back up into a tabletop position. Adjust your knees accordingly. Firm your abdominals around your baby, giving a little bit of a hug and neutralizing your spine. Take your right leg back and up. Front of the hip points down, same with your knee and your toes. I'm going to reconnect your right knee. Take your left leg back and up. Front of the hip, knee, and toe also facing the floor on this side, maintaining neutral through your pelvis. Keep hugging your baby. Reconnect your left knee down. Take your right leg back and up. Left arm joins this time, stabilizing on these 2 points of contact. Keep the right leg up, place the left hand down. Bend your lifted knee, placing it behind your left. Now, hug your thighs towards one another. Feel this engagement in your pelvis. Releasing your right leg, stepping the foot forward outside of your hand. Shift the weight forward and shift the weight back. Coming almost like into a lunge and then a half split. Rocking back and forth. Listening to your breath. Listening to your hips. Next time you're coming forward, pause. And when you shift back, just take it into tabletop. Recalibrate, find that neutral spine. Take your left leg back and up. Right arm joins. Stabilize on these 2 points now. Firming around your baby with your abdominal muscles. Left leg stays lifted. Reconnect your right hand. Bend the lifted knee, taking it behind the connected one and hugging your thighs. Feel that work into your pelvis. Releasing left foot steps forward outside your hand. Initiate that glide back and forth. This is a nice place to strengthen your hands and wrists. You could come onto the pads of your fingers, lifting your palms up. Also give a bit of relief if your wrists are talking to you in this moment. Next time your front knee is bending, pause. And when you shift back, take tabletop. Toes curl under, hips lift back and up. Find your first downward facing dog. widening your stance as you need to accommodate your growing baby. Fluid movements, a continuous pedal and sway of your hips. Generous bend into your knees is really going to promote length in your spine. Whether your hands walk to your feet or your feet walk to your hands, we'll find our way into a standing position. And we're going to do a bit of work into our shoulders. Just standing very tall. Bring your arms to your sides with your palms facing up and your elbows bent. Reach your fingers forward and then turn your palms down as you circulate your arms behind, and then you're going to bend your elbows and kind of like press back. I didn't quite do that one right. I'm going to try again. Reach your arms forward, turn your palms up, reach forward, and then turn your palms down, bend your elbows. Now draw back. Okay, wait, I got it. Arms go wide here. Bend your elbows, draw back. Good. Now circle forward. Getting into more of a flow. Bend your elbows, draw it back. Here we go. Circle the arms wide and forward. Bend your elbows, draw back. Good. A few more wide. Bend your elbows, draw it back. Good. Keep with this nice fluid pace. Try to limit other movements taking place in your body, focusing on your shoulders. Good. Two more. When you draw your elbows back, lower your arms down to your sides. Take a big step back with, doesn't matter which foot, just so you could see the screen still, and turn all 10 toes to the long side of your mat. Bring your hands onto your hips, draw your elbows back, and turn your heels in and your toes out. Bend your knees, settle into your hips. Firming into your feet, rise up. Again, bend your knees, settle in, and then press up. Do this a few times. We're starting to feel the heat come to our legs, a bit of opening into the hips. And as your body starts to open, the hips may sink a bit lower, but it's not necessary as long as you're keeping integrity, finding that sense of moving from a place of listening, going back to that intention that we set out at the beginning of our class. And next time your legs are straightening, turn your toes back forward, and we're going to fold. Take your hands under your shoulders. They may also come to blocks. And then bending into your left knee, shift the weight, and then take it over to the right. And just kind of moving from side to side here, a bit of a lunge, feeling an opening come to the inner thighs here. Connect back in with your breath if you've lost it. Opportunities to linger on a side or just staying in that constant movement. And then shifting back to center, turn the toes back forward. Place your right hand under your face, palm connected or lifted, and we'll turn the chest open to the left, keeping baby facing the floor. Draw your top shoulder back out of your ear. Lower the lifted hand down. Connect. Rotate to the other side. Keep baby facing the floor, belly button down. Top shoulder out of your ear. Take your top hand down, soften into your knees, firm your feet, rise back up to stand. Turn your right toes to face forward. Adjust your stance as needed and bend your front knee, work into warrior two. Arms go out horizontal to the floor. And connecting our breath with the movement. Inhale, arms up, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend your knee, sink in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink and lower. Good, follow your breath now. Movement mimics the breath as they sync up. Next time you're moving into that warrior two or Virabhadrasana, behold. Feel the strength in your legs, firing up your thighs. Keep your arms as they are. Straighten your front leg, turning the right toes to the long side of the mat and the left toes to face back. Bend your knee, sink in. Inhale, lift your arm, straighten the front leg, reach. Exhale, bend, sink in. Good. Follow your breath here. Moving into that flow state. Captivated by your inhale and exhale. Next time you're in warrior two, pause, hold. Bring some length to the sides of your waist as you lift your ribs. Keep your arms as they are. Straighten your front leg. Turn the left toes off to the side and releasing your hands to your waist. Let's turn the heels in and the toes out. Bend your knees, sinking back in for goddess. And just shift the weight side to side this time. Pausing in center. Hug your heels towards one another, reaching your elbows back, puffing up through your chest. Keep hugging baby with your abdominal muscles. Last two slow breaths. Let's straighten our legs. Turn our toes forward and then just heel toe them back together and stepping to the top of your mat. A bit of balancing postures. We'll find our feet firm into the mat. Hands gathering at our chest and shifting the weight into the right foot. Let's bend the left knee and lift. And with control, tipping your chest forward, reaching the lifted toes back, softening your standing knee, connect your toes down, lifting your chest into a crescent lunge. Not concerned with how wide the stance is, but just creating a stable base. And then dip your chest forward. Feel the weight shift into your front foot, straightening the leg. The back toes will lift. Again, prioritizing that stabilization. Bend your lifted knee, standing upright, and we'll return the foot to the mat. Great job. Shift the weight to the left foot. Bend your right knee, lift. Keep a softness in the standing knee. No need to lock it out. And as you tip forward, lifted foot comes behind. Bending the standing leg, lifted toes connect to the mat. Take your chest up momentarily in a crescent lunge. Feel that nice opening in the front of the right hip here. Take your chest forward. As you do, the weight moves into the front foot, straightening that leg to take flight. Bend your lifted knee, rise to stand, and then reconnect. So we're going to do that again on the right side. Connect the foot, bring the left knee up. Smoothing it out, transitioning, chest moves forward, standing knee softens as we connect the foot behind, lift your chest. And then come back through warrior three. Just take your time, no rush to get anywhere. The toe can constantly be dragging along the mat as well. And then reconnect. Weight moves to the left foot. Right knee bends. Toes can lift or stay connected. And then shifting the weight, moving into that crescent lunge. Pause momentarily. Transfer the weight into your front foot. As you work to straighten the leg, drag the toes or suspended in air, come forward. Reconnect the lifted foot down. Right side takes the weight. Left lifts. Tipping forward. Connect the toes and the ball of the foot. Take your chest up, crescent lunge. Good. One more time. Weight into the front foot, slow and steady. Rise to stand. Reconnect the foot. Last time, left side. Very curious state, how the body's moving in space. When your right foot is reconnected, just lower your arms down to your sides, and we'll widen out our stance, setting up for Malasana. So toes turn slightly out. Take your hands at the chest, bend into the knees, sinking the hips down. And then we're going to press out. And then bend the knees, sink down, a little bit of weight into the heels, and press out. And do this a few times. And everybody at different stages in their pregnancy. So again, we listen and move accordingly. If it helps you to have your hands on your baby as a reminder to tone through the abdominals here, please do. Next time you're standing up, pause. Heel toe the feet, back hip width apart. And lowering your arms behind you, interlace your fingers. Lifting from your forearms or just the intention, feel that work come into your shoulders. Long, conscious breaths. Releasing your hands to your sides. Cross your left foot in front of your right. See if you can line up your pinkies. And then notice that the body wants to kind of turn off to the side. We want to limit that. You want to stay facing forward, squaring the hips and hugging all the way up your legs. It should now feel also like you're giving your pelvis a nice hug as we progress in pregnancy. Lots of hormones helping us to relax and sometimes relaxing too much. So if that's you, this is a really great exercise just to keep some integrity within this joint here. Now let's bring the arms overhead. If it's available, connect the palms and really just kind of grow out of your grounding feet. Bend your elbows, lower your thumbs to your chest. Release your arms to your side, circle overhead. Feel that lift and reach. Lower your thumbs to your chest. 2 more, circle the arms wide, lift. Palms connect, bend your elbows. 1 more, inhale to circle up. And exhale, lower thumbs to chest. Front leg coming undone and taking tree pose. Bottom of the foot finds the inside of the standing leg somewhere. Inside ankle, calf, thigh. Reconnect your left foot down. Right foot crosses in front. Awareness, trying to keep your hips facing forward as you hug all the way up your legs. And maintain that good work. Arms going overhead. Pause. Feel. Listen. Adjust accordingly. And let's bend your elbows, drawing the thumbs down your center line. Release the arms, circle them overhead. Bending your elbows. And stay connected with your feet as the arms start to circulate. Lasering your focus in. Next time your hands come to the chest, pause. Finding tree pose. Sole of the right foot comes to the inside of the standing leg somewhere. Staying with me on the ankle or starting to travel the foot up the leg. Reconnect the right foot, release your arms, and find your way to a tabletop position, sorry. In your table, spin on your right knee, kicking the toes off the long side of your mat. They find the floor. Left leg goes back like a warrior two stance. And we're going to roll the chest open, lifting the arm for a variation of side plank. Well, firming into the outer hip, see if you can float that straight leg up and lowering down with control. Height doesn't matter here, but intention is there. Everyone doing the same work. Reconnect the knee and the hand down, tabletop. Spin on your left knee, take the toes off the long side of the mat and curl them under. Right leg goes back, roll your chest open, lifting your arm to stack your shoulders. Activating the outer hip here. Leg floats up and lowers down, or even just a sense of lightness will actually create that activation. Nice controlled movements. Let's reconnect the hand, reconnect the knee, roll through to a seated position. So setting up for a 90-90, an S-shaped deer pose, many ways to say the same thing. Right leg's going to stay in front, left leg is going to come behind. Now activate into your ankles. And just pausing here to feel into your hips, discovering what there is to notice today. And we're going to start to wiggle this left leg back. So you can take it and pause anywhere. And we have the option of coming all the way into pigeon and folding forward. So listening again. Move according to what it is that your body needs every day. So much change taking place when we're pregnant and just honoring that change. And settle in where you are, finding that breath. Listening for that audible sound, soothing flow of your inhale and exhale. Play with slowing the pace of your breath as you lengthen out your inhale and exhale. And start to climb your way up from wherever you are and taking it into the other side. Left leg comes forward, right leg moving behind. Let's pause in that S shape or more of a deer posture. Few long breaths, settling into your hips. Staying here or transitioning into pigeon. You can incorporate a fold. And collectively, we stay with the breath. And the breath always uniting us with our physical body and one another. And you may think of using your breath as uniting with your growing baby. And start to climb your way up, coming into a seated position with your legs out front. Take them as wide as you need so that there is some space for your baby. And we're going to fold forward, curling into ourselves and staying for a bit longer of a hold. You can take some subtle movements through your body that may look like some small undulations in your spine. Softness in the knees is also really great. promoting more of a even stretch all along your back line. Stay with that fluid movement of your breath. Maybe finding a sense of a wave-like motion there. Rolling up from wherever you are. Bend your knees, connect your feet to the mat, and take your hands behind you with your fingers pointing forward. And grounding down through the hands and the feet, we'll lift the hips and lower down. Again, lifting and lowering. Earlier, we talked about hugging the outside of the hips to center. Find that here as well. Stabilizing around the pelvis. And last lift. When your hips reconnect, find a cross-leg position, sitting upright. Take your left hand onto your hip and lower your right ear towards your shoulder. Keep your shoulders soft. Right hand connects down beside your hip. Working into a side bend, bending the bottom elbow. Left hand is there as a reminder to keep the hip anchoring down. Stay or circle left arm forward and overhead. You can find a little bit of a pulse here. If you're pulsing, pause. The arm lifted, circle it forward, connecting the hand back to the hip. Find that bend of the elbow. Anchoring down. Let's float our way up. Relax the left hand and connect the right. Sitting upright, we'll lower left ear to the shoulder. Left hand connects down by the hip. Take a moment to breathe. Hand stays on the hip as you work into your side bend. Stay or circle the right arm forward and overhead. Option to welcome in that pulse here as well. If you're pulsing, pause. The arm circled overhead, bring it forward and back to your hip. And then we float up to that neutral position. Take your hands onto your knees, circulating through the trunk of your body. Just washing out any stagnant energy. We'll circle back around other direction. Eventually finding your way back to center. Feel the parts of your body that are connected with your mat. Really just sinking in there. Lengthening back up your spine. Soften the gaze or closing the eyes again. Coming back to the practice of controlling or manipulating the breath for our pranayama. Allow your inhale and your exhale to match in length. If it helps you, count it out just quietly in your own mind. Creating equal breathing. Opening the space between your ears and allowing the breath to flow. And the more we practice these breathing techniques, the longer those moments of connection and concentration stay. Always gently but firmly guiding your attention back to your breath. Notice the calm, or maybe even a transient state that comes when you connect with your breath. Blink your eyes open if they closed. Finding your way to a resting position to close our practice, whether you lay on your left side or find your way onto your back. And once your physical body gets settled, releasing any control over the breath, allowing yourself to be breathed. And just a little interesting note, and especially for those of you that are laying on the left side within many yogic traditions is known as the Chandra side or the moon side. And it accentuates those relaxing qualities, that downward energy. Though you're hesitant to move, keep the head heavy and your neck relaxed, finding your way into a seated position. Gather your hands at your chest, pressing the palms and your finger pads together, creating a seal. Come back in to listen for your breath. Take a moment to honor your journey so far into motherhood. Embracing growth and love within you. From an infinite capacity.